Well, I just had one of those workouts where you're like limping out. I'm not a casual workout guy. Twice a week to exhaustion, to the point where I'm literally limping out of the gym. Literally. So I just stopped into the dollar store. And believe it or not, at Dollar Tree, there is a, where is it? I'm going to give up one of my secrets for a great tasting steak. You're going to think I'm nuts, but it's this steakhouse seasoning at Dollar Tree. And what happened was people found out how great it was, and you can barely get it. So it's $1. And when you look at the ingredients, it doesn't have MSG. It's not all garliced up. It's not all... It's exactly like the stuff you're going to pay anywhere between $7 and $10 for in a high-end store. Like, I'm not going to mention the name of the stores. Anyways, so, and there was one left. It was great. And this works fantastic if you're on the carnivore diet. Love it. And there's a lot of it. Anyways, so here I am limping out of the gym. Squats today. I do the same. I don't split body parts. I'm on this thing now until the first day of spring, till March 20th. What I'm doing is I'm doing 5 exercises. I'm doing chin-ups, pull-ups, military presses, bench presses, squats, and deadlifts. The chin-up, pull-up are the same. So 5, I'm doing 5 exercises. And I do them all to exhaustion. And I got to figure out which ones to do first, because, and which ones tire me out the first. So I know there's some logic in which ones you start with. Anyways, I'm limping out of the gym. I go to the dollar store, and I'm going from car to car in the parking lot. Literally, car to car, with just kind of like barely touching the cars with my fingers, because my legs are quivering. I added more weight today, and my ass is beaten down, pretty much. So I'm in the dollar store, and there's like old people, like older than me, passing me because I'm walking too slow. And I'm almost like skimming the shelves because I'm walking so darn slow. And I feel like unstable, in the sense that like my legs could give out. And I'm fully hydrated and had steak and eggs for breakfast. But something occurred to me. Something profound. There were people who were patient with me in my slowness. And I'm quick. I'm a quick guy. I'm strong. I can be very fast. 0 limitations. But today, I really felt the limitations. And there were people who were like waiting for me to, like if there was 2 displays in the aisle and only one could go through, I'm like flagging people on. People must have thought I was crippled or something. And they're like, oh, it's all right, come on. And I'm just walking slow. And it occurred to me, there's people who live like this every day. There's people with limitations who can't move. Their mobility blows from disease, illness, old age. And it just made me stop and think. Slow down, son. Slow down. Be patient with people. And someday you might be there yourself. I'm not planning on it. Nobody ever plans on a lack of mobility or flexibility, but sometimes crap happens, accidents. I'm working my butt off so I never So the chances are that I'm not going to be like that. But it just made me stop and think about people who live like that every single day with mobility and speed, and how I just need to be more considerate. Not that I'm inconsiderate, but just be more considerate with people who are less physically able. And I'm not talking about those who are like pizza and wings and beer and are slow and fat because of their own junk, their own lack of responsibility for their lives. But what I was thinking was those that are disabled, that we might not know that are disabled, elderly, or people who have limitations because of injuries, strokes, things that are not like super obvious, like, you know, when you see somebody walking with a cane or a walker, that's a signal, you know, like yield right of way to them when you're out and about. But what occurred to me was the people who aren't obviously disabled and who don't have the obvious limitations by sight, they don't look like it, but they are it. And to just be more graceful with people, be more graceful, be more considerate. And what a lesson to learn. Seriously, what a lesson to learn. Isn't it awesome for those of you that are, I'm closer to 60 than 50, for those of you that are in your late 50s and older, what an awesome lesson to learn. Isn't it great being older and still being able to learn and just not be a friggin' know-it-all with everything? I learn every single day. Every day, I'm like a sponge soaking in information, wanting to improve myself. We do it in the corporate world, don't we? CQI, continuous quality improvement, or total quality management. But do we do it in our everyday life, out and about, out in town, out in society? And I want to take my consideration just a step further, because now I get pleasure from helping people who are much less able than me. And I saw the grace that some people were giving me. I told you the story of when I had the big beard, and one day there was a huge snowstorm. I'm just driving out of Philly right now. There was a huge snowstorm. I had a big black hood on. You've seen me wear that sweatshirt where I look like Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I had the big white beard sticking out of you. You couldn't see my face. And I was shoveling my driveway at 11 o'clock at night, and a new neighbor came by and says, "Oh, here, let me help you." Now, of course, and this guy, I've gotten to know him. He's probably 66 years old. Walks, exercises, he swims every day. But he didn't know me at the time. I didn't know him. He thought I was like 85 years old. He just saw this guy shoveling his driveway at 11 o'clock at night, and he says, "Let me go get my shovel." And he ran back to his house, came out, and kind of helped me dig out my driveway. I didn't need the help. I shovel the driveway for exercise when it snows, and I enjoy it. But it was kind of funny, his response to me. And that made me stop and think, to go above and beyond in life, helping people. It doesn't slow you down. And you know what happens when you take responsibility? It's that Jocko Willink thing. You get more responsibility in life when you take responsibility. What a beautiful thing. And when you get more responsibility in life, it's like God is saying, your back can handle the weight. Years ago, I heard this. The difference between American Christians and Chinese Christians who worship under threat of going to jail. Here's the attitude. When we're encountering things that are heavy, the American's prayer is, Lord, take this weight away from me. Whereas the Chinese Christians would say, Lord, give me a stronger back. And I just got friggin' tingles by saying that. Can you imagine that? Instead of trying to wave a magic wand to make everything go away, you say, Lord, make me stronger. Not make it go away. Make me stronger. More responsibility. When you get more responsibility, doesn't matter who you are, if you're caring for a loved one, that means you have a stronger back and you can handle it. And I know there's some of you on the verge of breaking right now. I know that. I have some subscribers that are caretakers of parents and children right now, elderly parents and sick children. I know that. I know that. I have some subscribers that are quads and paraplegic. And I want to acknowledge you as well. I don't know why bad things happen to good people. I don't know why bad things happen to people at all. Especially people, like if you do something really bad and then something bad happens to you, that's kind of like sowing and reaping. That's consequences. But when crap happens and you didn't ask for it or create the circumstances that created those consequences, existentialists will say it's meaningless. Stoics have nothing to say, although I'm a Stoic Christian. And some people will say that God will not give you more than you can bear. And if you are bearing it, you're bearing it under God's strength. Totally unplanned here, this rant. It's just something that came through my head, that occurred to me, that humbled me today. Simple little thing humbled me like that. Like hardly being able to walk. I'll see you tomorrow morning on the Daybreak Show. Have a good rest of your day. See you.